Hello everyone, it's been a while since I actually made a goddamn video on this channel, and yeah, I'm doing a commentary of my old video, so yeah, content. But basically with this, unlike my other videos, they're fairly short, 5-10 minutes. These ones, there's a lot of effort put into these, even though some places there wasn't 100% effort, like the camera angles could have been better and everything, but still, silly internet thing, so I didn't put that much, but still, there's a lot of things in here I feel like I want to talk about, like a little references people might not have gotten and explain a few things. So yeah, I'll start the first video right now and I'll do the other ones a little bit later. So as you notice here, like compared to the other bits, I'm actually not staring at the screen reading out the script. I'm actually trying to memorize it and look at the camera. It's a bit hard to tell because actually it's funny, you see the screen's kind of hiding my eyes a bit, but yeah, this took me 40 minutes to get right because I fucked it up so many times. And from then on, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to look at the screen and I'm going to just read my lines when it's longer than, say, 2 sentences. So, well, here you don't. I'll explain later on. You'll notice my eyes are like reading off the screen. I'm like, you keep my eyes are going across. And yeah, so basically with this, what I was inspired by was actually doing the storyline first, the little bits of the trolls and whatnot, and that was basically to make fun of all the people who are really obsessed with that guy with the glasses, like hating them too much. You saw them in DHR, in BT Street, you saw them a lot, like on the comment section was just really bad. It's probably half the reason Jordan got rid of it. Because really, there were the kind of people who would think that, oh, hope Sean Fowles dies and were legit. They weren't just being shocking. They would have actually been happy if he was dead. And basically, that's what I was making fun of there. I'll explain that later. And when it comes to the references, people are probably wondering what the fuck was I doing there. And basically, when Linkara has references to say the in jokes and that guy with the glasses, or buddy, Mr. Science Theater and all that stuff. Basically, when he has Mr. Science Theater references and all the stuff I didn't get, it just seems strange and out of place. And I did it here to deliberately make fun of that, to have stuff that's gonna be strange to everyone. So I got Freddy Got Fingered here. I got that weird furry in the other one. And basically it's to make people feel confused and go, what the fuck was that? And that's basically how I feel whenever Linkara put a reference in there. And hopefully everyone else felt that way as well. And also, I made them at least funny, so it wasn't just out-of-place clips. That'd actually be so strange they were funny. So a bit of my humor in there, or Tom Green's in this case. And yeah, as you just saw there, it's obvious he ripped off Batman for the origin story. Didn't even try to be creative. It's just, and like I said, he has like a Commissioner Gordon ripoff later on, and I think it was in one of these comics or also later what I didn't review, but basically he has like a bat, like a the symbol going in the light. Like he had a little blatant one by the Commissioner Gordon lining up as well. And as for the panel pages, it's like I mentioned earlier, but in the third episode that he does improve that later. But with that, it's laziness. Obviously, he didn't want to draw too many comics. But at the same time, though, he produced stuff until he went on that guy with the glasses every week, or he'd have a panel done. He was productive in a way, but at the same time, I think those one panel pages were shortcuts. I think it was probably a week where he was busy. He thought, fuck it, I'll just do a one panel page thing. And yeah, like it's strange. Like even like in the glasses, it's the same thing. He's productive. He does a lot of shit. He's not like Spoonie where he'll do a review every 3 months now, or whatever. I'll do a vlog in between. He'll do his shit. And his math was terrible, but I already went into depth about how terrible. He always just put a bunch of random numbers there, and I thought, oh, business is going down. But yeah. But anyway, yeah, back to his productivity. But yeah, like he produced a lot of content. There was so much here. Like before 2008, I think he did like half the stuff you see, or even more of that. He produced that over a couple of years. He did like 3 issues over a few years. Like compared to a lot of webcomics, they did like one little strip or something. He was pretty damn productive, despite his shitty artwork. But as for the words, you can see more of it. Words everywhere. He obviously came from a writing background. He has an English degree, and he actually wrote a novel at 16. And I don't want to read that. That'd be cringeworthy. It'd be even worse than his other stuff. But according to ED, great source there. Apparently, he has a cat girl love interest. furthering the fact that, he's a closeted furry, which, when it comes to that, he might be. I don't know for sure. There definitely are some signs, and he's definitely masturbates to cartoon character. He finds them sexually attractive, which I'm going more into detail about in the second episode, but yeah, all these words, it comes from his writing background and not being able to adapt. He took a long time. Eventually, it was issue 6 or 7, I think, or in that Darkbringer saga, which Darkbringer was probably one of the only enemies he had. I'm going off topic here, but not off topic, but sort of veering off into different topics. But Darkbringer was a bit weird, where he kind of had an ends justify the means mentality, but he was trying to go for some yin yang thing where he's like, oh, I'm evil, but there needs to be darkness for light to exist or some shit like that. But his character said it in such a confusing and retarded way that he sounded like he had brain damage. I said that in the comments of this video, the other videos as well, but still, he still kind of had it and justified his mentality. But every other enemy but him had that mentality. All of them. There's one where he's pretty much a Jack the Ripper ripoff where he thinks, oh, well, prostitution is wrong, so I'm going to kill women. That's the one right after the last one I reviewed. I can't remember the other ones, but I can't remember the other ones off the top of my head now. I'm kind of glad I don't. But yeah, that's the only way he knows how to write. And like I said, eventually, I'll go back to the words again. He gets over it. He gets much better. He structures his comics properly. He knows how to write dialogue.
On the next page, we notice that he's abusing more text.
And yeah, more text. But basically, with what was I going to say?
Somehow turn it solid. While normally you would draw this and show the audience.
Yeah, actually, that should come off topic. Thanks. Thanks me. Basically, his later comics, his drawings get better. His drawings don't emote very well. His poses are still shit. They're like this, but it's not as childlike. He look a bit more form to his characters. They're more consistent looking. Yeah, some here the jaw's a bit more round. While in the later one, when I compare him to his face, when he's Lightbringer, the jaw's more pointy at the end. And every image, he looks different. While later on, he looks the same. He kind of learned how to get that right, but still. All the guys in that got the glasses. on DHI, you notice that guy that came onto the forum that had his little drag and drop Animu comic, whatever he made. It was done with I can't remember what the hell it was called. Basically, you find generic images and drag them on. They have no emotion because, they all look like a bloody PS2 video game where they try to, add emotions to their faces. And with that though, with drag and drop, get Go Animate shit as well. Linkara stuff when he draws it looks like Go Animate shit. Even when it gets better. And it was just hilarious how he's doing that unintentionally. But even when he improves, it looks like that. And this bit I think I mentioned where he's where you can take out the dialogue, and even with his shitty artwork, I said just now, where you could tell what was going on. He doesn't need all this dialogue. And again, it goes back to his, I am a writer and I don't know how to write comics yet. Which is something he admitted as well. And when it comes to that, I think I did this. I didn't mention it earlier, but basically, whenever he talks with the dialogue boxes, I did that earlier on. The monologue stuff I have in that deep voice where I talk like this. This is what Linkara wishes he sounds like. Well, not really. Hope he doesn't. But then whenever he actually talks, I do the nasally Linkara voice. Yeah, that's what he really sounds like. Just to mock him, because I'm a dick. Oh god, the pacifism.
And at this point, you'll see the first time he ever used an extreme example to prove his point.
Just the pacifism argument he uses, he gets. I think I mentioned it earlier, but he gets.
That he is not subtle, but here's one bit I found interesting.
Yeah, here. Yeah, he basically justifies it. Thinks, from the comic books, how they use violence to solve all the problems. He actually thinks it's a good thing. He's like, no, pacifism's bad. No, you shouldn't stay around. You should actually use violence to solve problems. And again, he mentions Saddam Hussein. Obviously, he's right-wing upbringing, but man, it's scary. He has that view. It's more so the way he says it though. Like I know sometimes like bullies, you know, the only way to deal with them is to punch them in the face. They're not gonna listen to punishment and all that shit in high school. You punch them in the face, they're not gonna pick on you again because you're not gonna be a problem. They know if you're like some beta male piece of shit, they're like, oh yeah, I could pick on him. He's not gonna fight back. You know, they're not gonna, even if they can beat you up, they're not gonna deal with you if you could fight. And hands. I can mention it here, but like, obviously with all artwork, even 3D animation too, like hands are a pain in the ass for some reason. Even modeling them in 3D is really a pain to get them to look right, and drawing's the same. But even then, here he just looks like he just used the MS Paint mouse, goes and here I trace, you know, I go all Reddit here and just trace my own hand, and even that would have been better. Like even for Linkara, that would have been fine. But yeah, basically, this bit here was actually the last bit I filmed. But even though I use it for the early episodes, and I'll go into detail about my filming. Basically, well, the way I do a lot of things, but I filmed all my footage was already filmed before I edited the first episode. I didn't because I was already sitting down in my chair reading the script. I wrote all the scripts first, then I did all this. So, like this. Yeah, so I filmed all the big chunks. I did all the storyline bits first because I had all the little fucking troll things already there. I did all that first. Then I did all the review stuff because I thought, hey, I'm sitting here. Why should I wait until I do it later? Just probably why it took so long to do. Because I started writing it in like, January that year. Then I had school stuff. I had no time to make all this because this takes ages. And the sexism alarm. I actually thought I'd make this to more of a gag. And like really overanalyze the sexism because you know Linkara's like, this is sexist, that's sexist, that's sexist. And it's funny, like a comment recently said that, oh, I'm being mean-spirited and I shouldn't be like that. And the same thing is Linkara is Miller time, and he goes into detail about the author itself rather than just the comic as well. He says, oh, these guys got horrible views on women and all that shit. And really, I'm just giving him a taste of his own medicine to. Well, my response to those people is he does the same shit. Yeah, and Spoonie does this. They wouldn't criticize Spoonie when he's gone his Deadliest Warrior rant, where he's like, "Oh, fuck you, developer," and like, I mean, Tommy Wiseau, where they, you know, gave him shit. I mean, they've done the same thing, but it's obvious the audience, you know, doesn't apply to. It happens to S.A. Larry and all them too. Like, it doesn't apply to the people you hate. It only applies to people you hate, and not the members of that guy with the glasses. They can get away with it. So I'm like, yeah, again, just making him sound real nasally. Cause, yeah. And the lens flare, like, that's right. Anyone, like, when it comes to lens flare, alright, even when I did it, I kind of used it once when I was studying. It was a real cheap technique, and they said, no, don't do that. It looks like shit. And this square jaw. And it's so true how it looks like Linkara as well. It's probably his self-portrait and he just couldn't draw properly. You know, back when he actually, you know, wasn't 500 pounds. And yeah, I make fun of him being an Aryan and whatnot. But it wasn't really, and obviously I'm being a dick here. I think at the end of this one, no, it wasn't end of this one, end of the other ones. Episode 2, I think, where I take the bit where with Kick-Ass here, where they say, oh, you're a Nazi, Linkara, and then I thought, okay, I have to use that for this.
Oh, and I forgot this. That's the end of issue 1, but since this is a 2-part comic and we really don't get much closure here, I would drive straight into the second issue. We start with the cover.
And the gradient field. Oh my god, he abuses gradient so much, it's ridiculous. And you can see there on the blue building, I think I had trouble explaining it, but basically, look at the gradients, they're flat. But obviously it's a 3D building, so it's like the blue shadow bit there should be angled on that side, like where I pointed that side. I'm trying to explain it. But he obviously couldn't give a shit. He's like, gradient filter here, gradient filter there. He obviously thought they looked awesome, but he didn't know how to use it properly. He just understood the core basics. And how do you fuck that up? Seriously. It's not that hard to use. Just line it up. He did it before, but... And look at Tom Green. Even the drawing there looks better than anything Linkara could ever do. What else can I...
Anyway, we start the story with a generic news bit that's been used in every superhero comic.
But yeah, about his story, like,
from one end of Pharaoh City to another.
his story just isn't that interesting. Like, look at that logo. Oh my god, the fact that he made a T-shirt and actually tried to sell it, just ridiculous. But yeah, and more rip-offs here. Like, his story just isn't that interesting. Like, some people said, like a Comic Genesis forum said, oh, Linkara's good at dialogue, but he's not. Like, all the dialogue is just mundane bullshit. And now he's got a square jaw. How about that? Again, but
holy shit, more than 2 panels.
But yeah, just
Okay, well, it seems like he's made
nothing happens in the story. Like, he's a generic I kill bad guy, but there's no character development.
very little. It's just
Nothing.
explaining why he chose his costume.
It's just about stuff happening to him. It's generic superhero stuff without the core of it. So, like, Spider-Man, sure, he kills enemies, but it's about him dealing with the responsibility and balancing real life and being a superhero. And, you know, like Batman had that depth because he had especially the Nolan movies, he had the psychological issues of fear of being a bat, and then and again, like with Rachel Dawes in the second movie, like, does he want to be with her, or in the first movie, does he want to be with her, or does he want to be Batman? And then, a lot of the moral implications there, but Linkara doesn't do anything like that. It's just, I kill enemy, and he tries to do his philosophical shit, but it's just so shit. Like, he was too young to do a comic like this. He really should have done some short stories, and that's it.
Sorry, Chief Crane. Yeah, we're calling him Commissioner Gordon from now on.
And yeah, more Batman ripoffs. Just just looking at this again, just God, his eyes look so weird. The green eyes, I don't understand. And here it is, his attempted humor. Like, his side characters, again, they've got no personality. This guy's the funny one because, this shows how much of a sense of humor Linkara has, because it's obvious people... I'll go into another rant here. I can probably talk about something. Like, Linkara and all of them, most of them aren't funny without something to make fun of. Oh god, I'm using his dick voice. But, like, they take on something else, like, say, oh, look at The Room. Like, if you review The Room, you're not funny. The Room is funny. Like, that argument can be made here, too. It's, I had to take a pot shot at him there because Jesus Christ, he's not funny. But yeah, like you review The Room, you're not funny. The content's funny, and like a lot of them, though, they need to pick something that's funny, like in order to be funny. Like if your humor's dependent on what you review, then you're not like. I find Looper stuff unfunny entirely because she reviews stuff that's like Z grade shit. Like, it's obvious that everything. Actually, no, I'm going to cut that off, and I had to make fun of this because a woman being ultra strong, and then he eventually, gets horny from some fan art. And funny, technically, I didn't mention this in a review, but maybe I did. Technically, she was anime inspired, so that softcore porn he did was technically hentai. But anyway, I had to take an eye on this pot shot there when he did that. I had no choice. Well, you had a choice. No, I didn't.
And Christ, Gordon's pupils are massive. I don't think that's a cigarette he's smoking either.
But yeah, like, actually, I'll go back to what I was saying. Like Looper relies so heavily on that, and a lot of them do. A lot of the really unfunny ones, they rely on something so bad that the movies where the humor comes from, your little quip about it isn't that funny. It's like a demotivational picture. Or when Reddit adds that shitty little white text to a funny picture and that, like, you're just a middleman. And it's like Ray William Johnson. The clips are funny. You're not. So, and you could argue that I did that too, because I picked the earlier ones because their artwork's obviously shit. Later on, it's a bit harder, to make fun of. Obviously, there's less content, but still. Oh god, I hope no one takes out of that context.
And they plan on burning his store, but Nazi-Bringer decides that he's gonna beat them up.
God, that smile is so creepy.
Jesus Christ, look at that smile. A smirk would have worked just fine, but this just makes him look psychotic.
I'm just reading that Power Z Schlit. It sounds like an insult, Schlit. Yeah, anyway.
Rape. I'm going to enjoy this. Goat porn. I'm going to enjoy this. Banning dissenting opinions. In fact, I encourage you to spam that meme more than My Little Pony so I can sell quote tees.
Yeah, I may as well go on a rant about quote tees now. Just, God, just like Asman made a video making fun of it, and I'm not going to go on about that. The fan art.
I thought I would show you this. This right here is the first
Video. And the fact that he begged for fan art.
Female version of his character. The feminist in him must
Yeah,
be very proud.
Yeah, like he actually begs for fan art. But then later on he says, "Oh, well, I'm so glad I received this fan art," as if he got it out of nowhere, which I mentioned it later. But God, it's obvious his goal from the very beginning of this was fame, which is why he ditched it when he went on that guy with the glasses. That's all he wants, and that's why with his fans he's so defensive. Like he's very like, no, I must defend my fans. Like, how dare you attack my fans? And he gets in like, white knight mode whenever like someone says, oh, like whenever his fans act stupid. Oh God, that's just terrible. But yeah, like he always does that, and he's always like he toes the company line because if he goes against whatever they're saying, even with Lindsay with the copyright thing, where she said that when we reference the clip and it's not actually in the movie itself, then it's copyright infringement. And Linkara's like, no, it's not. Like he's pretty much saying what Doug wants him to because his fame will go away. I don't think his motivation is even money. Like I don't think he's in this to make a lot of money. He genuinely wants fame and he wants fans loving him. When he's at a convention, he's probably extremely happy. But that's why when he's the reference there. But that's with his fans. Like I lost my train of thought there. But
made a rubbery net of light in order to stop serpent from dying. Blah 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 blah. Also, that's not just a random.
His fans.
It's Lodestar Tower.
Oh, anyway, I've lost the train of thought there. I was going to say something about us, right? With the people who give him criticism. He goes up 20 questions. He would say, why? This sucks. Oh, why? Why does it suck? Why do you need to give me improvement? I need to improve. Why? Like he interrogates the fuck out of people that give him like a one-word comment. But when there's like a one-word comment saying that's good, he doesn't interrogate them because he doesn't care. Because yay, another fan kissing my ass. Like,
let's look at his commentary. Another fan art. This time it wasn't requested at all.
Exactly, bullshit. You demanded it from the very beginning. Man, I'm really angry there.
Back to the comic, and we see the Commissioner Gordon is still tweaked out of his mind.
Look at his toes, he's flying too. I'm talking about being high, I mean shit.
We see two people who are going to help Nazi Bringer take down the slavers. The end. Since we're done, it can't hurt to read the last bit of commentary.
Oh god.
Before you ask, yes, it is a reference to David.
It does, yeah, and I can't read. That's why I hate Linkara's comics, because too many words, and yeah, it makes me feel dumb. But yeah, and crossovers.
What's that? You don't remember
Yeah, because no one read them. But the car is, yeah, like the references. It's obvious that he inspired a lot of that crossover shit. Because it comes from comic books as well. Like you see, Avengers came out recently. There's a lot of crossover work in comic books. He's brought that over to here and into reviewing, which is shit. But yeah, he does it so much. Like, 2006 he did it. And like apparently, he ended up doing the crossover Lord and the whole bit, which I think he organised later on. But it was Spoonie. He got popular by I'll do a crossover with you, Spoonie. I'll do a crossover with him. And his crossovers with everyone, like I think it's because it helps his fame to an extent. Well, not entirely. He does it with little people too, but still.
In conclusion, this comic is god awful. The artwork could literally be done by a 9-year-old with MS Paint. The villain is so insanely over-the-top evil that he's boring and uninteresting, and the comic is a blatant rip-off of Batman. Hilariously, the scenario and setup are nowhere near as realistic and believable as the one in Batman. And Batman isn't even real.
I'm going to get into the storyline bit here. Yeah, obviously I've filmed this so well, but basically, there's so many references here. And this is basically, like I said, make fun of people on Busy Street and DHI who are really overly obsessed. Oh, this bit here. I'll actually put it in the description, but basically, this is word for word what Linkara said in response to someone who said, "Oh, these crossover things suck." And as you saw there, he actually says, pulls that piece of paper and clears his throat. I literally do that, and I'm reading off the script there, but I'm reading everything he said, word for word. It sounded this douchey, but it was like 3 times as long. The whole review would have been 10 minutes longer if I actually read the whole fucking thing, but again, it's again this interrogation and going a long-winded rant of this company line bullshit. And then he cuts him off eventually, but like E-drama, that is an Ace Alieri reference here. Like Ace Alieri, the whole upside down cross shit with the Suburban Nights for people who don't know. Basically, yeah, he was like, there was a drama where he was tied upside down, and he claimed she was tied upside down, and she passed out and whatnot, and that rumor spread out. And yeah, here, just a pot shot at this Legion fags, because, you know, they get their morals from a comic book just like Linkara does. I thought the art was pretty hilarious. And here I got the really slow crawl, because this weird thing about Linkara's the credit sequence, it's just so slow. Like, I'm not doing it over the top here, but I just don't understand why. Like, there's plenty of time to read it. You could just do like stills you can read for a bit. And it's a video, you can pause it. But anyway, yeah, the pot shot there was at Ace Alieri for him, you know, because he made up that bullshit drama. He said, oh, she was hung upside down, cross, which even in the interview he had with Apollo, like, he didn't even say that. I don't think he even said it was upside down. It was just in a cross, upside down in that cross position. And in the end, when you saw it, it wasn't even in a cross. It was just tied up. I think he was just tied up with the hands to, you know, toward the legs or whatever. But yeah, so I thought I'd use that as an example of starting heaps of shit, because that created a huge fucking drama. Like everyone who was paying attention at the time, the DHI's forums were just flooded with attention, and then like even that guy the Glasses forums was full of attention there as well. And if you all stuck by the end, which I don't think many of you did, there's a little bit here where an elephant comes all over what's it, Tom Green's dad. There we are. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, hopefully this commentary wasn't me rambling too much, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. There'll be more to come later on.